the great state of Florida, Senator Scott, Senator Lee. Mr. President, I want to explain to any American who's watching just what happened here. Because to be honest, it's kind of shocking. Kind of shocking what just took place. Senator Scott came down to the floor. He had a bill, Senate Bill 3086. And normally when you have a bill that is considered pretty non-controversial, you can come down and do what's called a unanimous consent, which is you ask the Senate that you want to pass the bill. And if anyone objects, they actually have to come down and object in the Senate chambers. So what does Senate Bill 3086 do? Here's the language: to require the Energy Information Agency to submit to Congress and make publicly available an annual report on federal agency policies and regulations and executive orders that have increased or may increase energy prices in the United States. That's it. That is it. That's the bill. It's one page, less than one page, 2 paragraphs. So all we were doing was asking, why are energy prices in America going through the roof? And is the federal government contributing to that through its actions and regulations? It's a really important question. Why is it an important question? It's an important question because when you get out of this bubble in D.C. and you go home, like I was just home in Alaska last weekend, energy costs and inflation are the #1 issue hurting American families, the #1 issue. So shouldn't we in the Senate want to know why it's happening? Now look, what else happened here? A little bit of inside baseball in the Senate. When a senator comes down and objects to a UC, usually he gives a strong reason why. Strong. Here's my reason why this bill is bad for the country and I'm going to object. Okay? You may have seen my colleague objected and said, I'm getting the heck out of here. I'm not going to explain this because there's no reason to object to this. None. So he objected and left. He didn't try to defend objecting this because every American wants to know. So it's the biggest issue back home. But here's another reason we need the bill. Because this president has come up with excuse after excuse after excuse on why energy costs, since he got into office, have gone through the roof. Okay? Let me give you a couple examples. He first said, well, we're emerging from the pandemic and the supply chain couldn't keep up with demand. All right. If that's really true, let the Energy Information Administration of the Biden administration, by the way, see if that's one of the reasons. Okay, then he said, well, shoot, the pandemic's kind of over, so it's Putin's invasion of Ukraine that is driving the increase in energy prices. Putin's unprovoked brutal war, which it is unprovoked and brutal, has led to higher energy prices, and President Biden then started to say it's Putin's price hike. Mr. President, no one's buying that one either because energy prices were spiking way before the brutal invasion of Ukraine. So then the president started saying, well, it's COVID and Putin. Okay? Then he started blaming the oil companies. Then he started to say, well, we have all these amazing permits that we want the oil companies to drill on, but they're not using them. So, Mr. President, we need Senator Scott's legislation because the Biden administration, the president himself, has put out all these ideas on why Americans are getting crushed by inflation and high costs at the pump. And yet, the one thing the president hasn't done, is never talked about, is he hasn't looked internally and said, maybe it's my own administration's policies that are driving up energy costs. Maybe. By the way, it's not maybe, it's certainly. And my colleagues have talked about this. Heck, I talked about this earlier today. I talk about it every day because it's crushing my home state and my constituents, but what we want the Energy Information Administration to look at is possibly these reasons. Day one, this administration came in and said, we're going to limit production of American energy. Okay, anyone who went to Econ 101 in college knows that when you start to limit supply, prices go up. Well, that's a culprit. Number two, from day one, they said we're going to shut down, kill, and delay moving energy through infrastructure, pipelines, LNG terminals. They're doing that all the time. So that's a policy. Those are executive orders limiting the ability to move energy. That sends up costs. Number three is that they have actively gone to the American financial sector, the Biden administration, and told them not to invest in American energy, choking off capital. That increases prices. So, Mr. President, Senator Scott's bill would simply ask the experts in the federal government, the Energy Information Administration, to just take a look. What is driving up the cost of American energy? What is crushing middle-class working families? And the reason my colleague objected and then ran off the floor without saying anything is because everybody here knows what the answer is going to be. Joe Biden has done this. It's his policies that are driving up energy costs. And here's the thing, and Senator Lee touched on it. And this is the thing that should scare everybody. It's likely purposeful. Pain is the point. They're all talking about this wonderful, glorious transition. Gina McCarthy talks about, hey, if the prices go up, it'll, quote, accelerate the transition to renewables. Who doesn't give a damn? They don't give a damn about the people who are suffering. It's all this green utopia stuff. All we're asking for is what is driving up the costs of energy on the backs of working class Americans. That's it. 2-paragraph bill. And my colleagues came and objected to it. And every American should know this. They don't want you to know what we all know, which is this. The pain at the pump is the purposeful policies of the Biden administration, and the American people are paying for it. We want the federal government to look into the details of this, and the Democrats were just now objected to that transparent information request. And in my view, it's shameful. I yield the floor.